Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the Sikh Helpline show on mental health and well-being. And today we have a very special guest who has actually gone through this tragic episode and is obviously back with us today in full strength, and he's willing to speak about his journey and some of the things that he went through. So Baji, over to yourself. If you'd like to introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are.
Hello everybody out there who's going to watch this, hopefully. My name's Amarjit Singh, and first of all I'd like to start and say I'm not qualified as a medic, psychiatrist, anything. I can only talk from experience, and I hope that sometime, somewhere along the line, if you divulge what I've got to say, that you take up the opportunity, which is what I want to call it, to try and get in touch with people such as Sikh Helpline and Baji Singh, or even me, because nobody's got the answer to everything. We've got the answer to bits and pieces, yeah? But if you accumulate those bits and pieces like a cake, you bake it in there, you go, put it in the oven.
Yeah. So we're going to start off, Baji, by asking you some questions about when you first noticed that you weren't feeling yourself. What were the symptoms? What were you going through? Because if you don't mind me saying, you've had bipolar. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I've had bipolar for 30 years, and I didn't even know. I did not know. But when I look back, I think my mood swings were like that.
Yeah.
And then down. That's why it's called bipolar. It's like a bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah? 2 wheels. And the lady at the doctor's reception, she said to me, you brought me some flowers and chocolates and you were happy, and then next time you came in, you just totally ignored me as if you wanted to die or something. You were just so down. She says, I spoke to the doctor and he's concerned and he's going to pass you over to a consultant. And there I was diagnosed with bipolar, manic depression. There's manic and depression.
And what's the difference between the manic and the depression side? So what does it mean to be manic?
Manic is simple. It's when you're so happy and you're up there. You could fly, you can take on the world, and
yeah.
It could be a bad winter's day, your car's broken down, the central heating's off, and you're walking in the snow and you don't feel anything. That's manic. But manic is also, you don't know your own physical strength, because the manic inside you drives your physical strength, and you could harm people. I had a friend of mine who's passed away now. He's a West Indian lad, and he was ill like me, and he was in the streets, and people were poking fun at him because they didn't know his mental health, and he was literally slobbering, and they were gouging him. I got out the car, I said, Lawrence, come here, and he recognised me. I said, come here, what's the matter? I put my arm around him, I said, come on, mate. We went up the road, and we had a little bite to eat and drink, and then he came right down because I knew, and they didn't know. And we started talking about Pele and George Best and, our generation, and Elvis Presley did this show and that, and he came right down. But I didn't know that he was on injections and that. I've given the police my phone number, and they said, why? I said, in case I do something in town and your bobbies come and arrest me, and they don't know that I've got this mental health problem. I don't want it. She said, why would you want to do that? I said, it would save me harming somebody. If they go, yeah, what's your name? Amarjit Tandy, date of birth, 26th of the 1st. They'll go, zap. They can get a paramedic out there who is qualified with mental health. For all of you people who are listening, please listen to what I'm saying. If you think it's difficult for you to listen to me, think how difficult it is for me to actually spit it out. This is no joke now. Mental health is huge. Start at the royal family, and you can go around the world, and I'll guarantee you, I'll bet you my last penny, everybody on this planet will go through mental health sometime, somewhere. you will feel it. Anxiety, panic, depression. Think about a footballer, or my friend here, we've had a good chat before we started recording. They go on a pitch, whether it's a local game or in the World Cup or anywhere, they are full of anxiety. Why? If they flop, gone. They played all season, it's one game, do or die. Manchester City are running away with it, they lose the game, they've lost a trophy. End of. Everybody will go through some sort of anxiety when they're getting married, or when they're going to a funeral, or when they approach somebody that they don't know, they've got to speak to, even if it's to say, excuse me, Mr. Singh, yeah, I need to get to this place. That guy will find it very difficult to approach to you. The biggest downfall about mental health is talking to someone about it, right? If you've got a car that needs repairing, don't take it down the swimming bath. Yeah, they haven't got a clue. Talk to a mechanic, yeah? Talk to people who are going through mental health and how they've coped with it. I had diabetes, I've still got it, but I've reduced it by talking. These old Bibian and these old uncles? The doctors ain't going to tell you that. The doctors are going to give me the happy tablets, the psychiatrist, and that's it. And I bet you she's going to ring me because of COVID. How are you coping? Fine. Are you taking this? Are you taking that? Yeah. Sorry, your time's up. Bye. But when someone's got mental health and had it for 30 years, they won't laugh at you. They won't ridicule you. Get a collection of, say, car mechanics. They're going to talk about engines, suspensions, changing the oil filter, or the new generation of battery cars. They don't laugh at each other. They give each other their tools. So if you get a few people in a group scenario, they're not going to laugh at you because they're going through the same thing. They've been there or they're going through it. It's getting people to open up. And I'm sorry to say it, our culture, oh boy, we are about nanu, Mork and Mindy. We're light years ahead. Behind, sorry. We are.
Why do you find that though? Is it because I'm going to go through and I'm not, quote me if I'm wrong. I'm not going to say, because I'm not too religious in terms of knowing the factual scriptures myself. But it's not a religious thing. It's more cultural, isn't it? In religion, in Gurbani, it doesn't say, "Bay, you can't talk to somebody if you're suffering. You can't do this if you're feeling upset or X, Y, Z." So why is it that these very same people who are from the faith, who understand the faith to their knowledge, why are they going against what the faith is saying then when they're posed a problem?
Because they haven't met the right people.
So going back to your analogy or your part where if you've got a car that you need fixing, you ain't going to take it to a swimming bath, are you?
No.
You're going to take it to a mechanic?
No.
So you're saying that they've been meddling with the wrong people then?
God has blessed me in the Sikh religion,
Yeah.
And I've met a lot of people in the Sikh religion.
Yeah.
But I know now that God is the creator. And if He is the creator of everything, then He is greater. He is greater than any mental illness, any bipolar, anything. If you say you can't talk to people, you can talk to God. You can do Murmantal, Ikonkar, Satanam, Katapot, Nirvau, Nirve, Akal, Muta, Juni, Sepan, Gurprasad, Jap. Where the Shabd is Nirvau, Nirve, it simplifies that the Almighty does not frighten anyone.
Yeah.
Or anything. Neither is He frightened.
Or does He hate?
He is not going to laugh at you like your mates might laugh at you because He created you. There's a reason why you're here. Yeah? Maybe you are meant to be mentally ill to wake up other people.
Yeah.
Yeah? It could happen to anybody, anytime. Now with this COVID, I was listening to a Radio WM. The girl came on the radio and said, "Oh, this is interesting." She says, "I used to ridicule and laugh at people who had mental illness." She's live on the radio, and I thought they were benefit sponges and just making excuses. And she says, "Guess what happened? COVID came along. I lost my job. I lost almost everything, and I became depressed and full of anxiety and panic." And she says, "I'll never ridicule anybody who says I don't feel well. I'm depressed."
So, you've had this for 30 years. What have you done to maintain it? How have you controlled it? How is it, it's never going to go. It's always with you. How have you come to where you are today?
You can look at it from various different angles. One is, there's a movie that plays in your head.
Yeah.
Call it anxiety, call it panic. It's a movie, deja vu, more want for a better word. If you don't stop that movie, you don't stop that wheel turning, you're never going to stop it. You've got to have the willpower to say, "Atte main hun bas karna. Main aa gal nahi karni, main aa bande naal nahi jhagdna. I've been here before, deja vu." And once you put those crutches inside your head, saying, "I don't need it," it's like a song that plays on YouTube. You get up, you put it on every day, and carry on doing your everything, and you know the lyrics to it. You've got to stop that song, change the record.
Yeah.
Change the environment, change the people that are around you. Fine. Bye bye. And it may not be your own culture, your own religion, it might be people from outside.
But this is where we've got people like the Sikh Helpline that they can call when you've lost all hope everywhere else and no one's listening to you. The Sikh Helpline's there for you to pick up the phone or email us to let us know that you're going through this, or you've going through what Baji went through or is going through. You're not on your own, and this is the main thing that I think Baji's trying to get out there is people are going to ridicule you, people are going to turn around and say, "Oh, kuch nahi hoya, koi nahi, aimi sir ghumya tera, aimi aa galla banaunda, this that flana temkra." It doesn't mean anything. It means you need to recognize you're not happy, and even if it means a quick chat with your GP or somebody over the phone to say, "Look, I'm feeling through this," getting it out of your head and getting that anxiety away, like you said, chopping that record off, allows you to move forward. Is that correct?
Yeah. One of the things is, our parents brought us here, and they came here to prosper and live.
Yeah.
We are British now. We are British Muslims, British Sikhs, British West Indians. We are British. Yeah. My parents couldn't read or write or speak English, so I was both parent and child. But my kids have excelled. My son's a doctor, my daughter's a head teacher, all right? But the taboo subject hasn't gone. We have picked up the culture, all the good things and the bad things. This is now domestic violence, divorce, drink, drugs, and mental health. Like Cardinal Sins said, "Oh, Bhaskar, tenu kuch nahi hoya, chal aaja cha pila." That's not the answer. That's just dismissing it. Yeah? If you say to someone, "Main theek nahi rehna, mainu nahi pata, I'm depressed," they will go down the road. Before you know it, the whole town will roll. And I'm telling you, that's the truth. And that's the kind of thing that stops that person moving forward with his life, seeking help. If you can't help them, then try and get somebody who can help them. Sukha Singh is doing a fantastic job here with Sikh Helpline. The doors are open, the phones are switched on. Ring him, come and meet him and see what, maybe you'll end up doing voluntary work with him and realise, there's more to life than, "I am a margya, my dad never brought me a hockey stick or football," or whatever. I'm just touching on it lightly. If I went into it deeply, you'd be scared. There was a time when I was broke, penniless and homeless, and I used to just look up and just smile and said, "This is a fantastic life you've given me. Is this it? Ehi ta mere wale sochya na?" And next day I met this Gujarati girl. She says, "You sleep in your car, don't you?" I said, "Yeah. I saw you in the car park." "Kandi, I got a flat there. You got a car. I got a flat above my chemist. Come and work for me and live upstairs." And that was me talking to God, and I thought, "Oh, why Guru? Why didn't I ask him for the lottery ticket, winning numbers?" Then it thundered and lightning. I went, "Oh, sorry." This is it. Your life can change if you want it to change. That's what I'm saying. But you've got to want it to change. Everybody's looking for a partner nowadays. The kids, he's got to be a computer whiz kid and BMW, and I ain't living with a mother-in-law and all that, this, that, the other. God created an imperfect world as far as I'm concerned. Perfect world, sorry. But we're trying to perfect something that God's already perfected. To God, mental health and COVID is nothing. It's nothing. Kuch nahi really. I listen to Bani now on YouTube, and it gives you an English translation where Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Jo aaya Chelsea. And to me that means everything that has come will go. The mountains, the trees, the oceans, the galaxies. So COVID will go. Mental health will go. What you was back in the day as a child, you weren't when you was a youth, you weren't when you got mature, you're not going to be in 10 years' time. But on that journey of life, you don't know what's going to happen. And when you reflect back on your life, the Almighty was with you all the way. Your body's changed, your features changed, but your soul hasn't changed, because that's a spark of light from the Almighty, His light. That light inside you is not going to change.
So, Baji, are you saying that your strongest support and a mechanism for you to deal with bipolar was A, cut the toxic people around you, and B, God?
Yeah.
Yeah? And that's funny you should say that. I mean, it's not just, going down Sikhi that we're talking about Sikhi, because this is all religions, this is everywhere. It's meditation and spirituality, which you find in Sikhi, of course. It's a human religion at the end of the day. And if humans want meditation and spirituality, well, it was designed for that. So you've got to find something, a focal point to pull yourself out, something good. So as Baji said, there's football, there's swimming, hockey, whatever, cricket, whatever you enjoy doing. If it's not sports, music, I was just going to say that. There's music, there's writing, there's painting, there's so much things that you can do to bring yourself out of that dark area. But again, you need to talk to the right people, because only by talking to the right people they can give you this good advice and they can move and help you along.
Yeah, when you're in a state of mind, don't stay on your own, because if you don't have to go to a helpline, go for a walk.
Yeah.
Go to town and just say good morning, hello to someone, or if you meet someone, your state of mind will change. They'll say, oh, did you see that goal George Best scored in the European Cup final? And your mind will change. It changes the record. It changes the thing.
Well, George Best has gone a bit of a long time. It'll probably be Messi or Ronaldo right now that they'll talk about.
Yeah,
but
well,
I get what you're saying.
I saw George Best play actually in the flesh, and I've never seen anything like him. I've never seen anything like him. But then it goes back to God being the creator.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's greater? He's created millions of George Best, and millions of them will come and go.
Yeah.
Ek and ek and ek ek. He's one, he's everything, but he goes back to one. It's simple.
Absolutely.
I had the blessings of doing Siva at a Gurdwara down the road. It's called the Nishkam, Guru Nanak Nishkam, and respect to them and the chairman and the Sangat. And when my psychiatrist gave me a little 25 milligram tablet, she said, you are in a state of manic continually. When you go to sleep, your body's out, but your mind is still going. So you get up and you're back there shoveling away, working away. She said, your manic state is driving your physical state. And I used to take this tablet and I'd go, and this would go, until somebody can die. I'm not saying they can't help you, psychiatrist, but they can. But you've got to be honest to yourself and to them and tell them the truth. Some people lie to them and they're saying, okay, fine, come and see me when you're going to tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Then I'll help you. That's another stigma. At the end of the day, it's your life.
Absolutely.
And I really don't want to touch on this subject. Suicide is on the increase in our society, and it's a tragedy. It is absolute tragedy. I don't know how people feel before they get to that state or what's happened. But if any of you out there ever get to that state, just think and look back and say, give it one more day, wake up tomorrow and start fresh. Look in the mirror and say, you are my best friend and you're my best enemy as well. It's as simple as that.
So it's more positive words, positive people, and being in the right frame of mind. But it's very difficult when, like you said, you're stigmatized, you're around people who are not willing to support you. They're not willing to recognize that you're going through some, especially within our community. And I'm trying to stay away from the religious side of it, but we believe in, you know, so many things in Sikhism, and you know, there's 5 cardinal sins that they turn around and say. One of them is hankar, and I believe the hankar is what people are not letting go. They're not letting go by what's the other person going to say if my son or daughter hasn't done well in education. What's other people going to say, or family members going to say, if they find out my son or daughter is depressed or going through mental illness or whatever. And I think it's that cardinal sin that everybody is finding hard to let go, which is causing toxic problems, negative people, and arguments and fights, and people not getting on, and then depression and whatever. And like I said, I'm not a therapist, but I'm just going by.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine.
You know, what you said is fantastic, but it's hereditary as well.
Yeah.
You know, the very parents or the chachi or the mummy dishing you because you're not mentally well, you probably got it from them.
Yeah.
And they've never talked about it.
And this is the
You know, the old days, the Bibian were meant to have kids stay at home. How depressing is that? Can you imagine the young kids doing that today?
No. It's not a way of life.
My nephew's got it, manic depression. He's a doctor. It's chemically in there. It's a chemical imbalance. It's not something to say like, oh, you know, sadi kuri depressed ya, inu bala na mure karya karo, leke jaya karo behan besh. That's stupid. You got to get her out there and get her mixing and thinking, get her happy. You know, lokan ki kehna, I don't give a toss what the lokan hai. Well, the Almighty is watching me. I don't care what you think of me, mate. I'm not your judge and you're not my judge.
Yeah.
He created all of us. There's always you saying you don't want to talk about religion. Thank you. He is within you and outside you. Simply. We breathe out carbon dioxide. The leaves soak it up. It's called photosynthesis. And they breathe out oxygen. Yeah?
To recycle.
Yeah? So we're connected to nature. Yeah? And who created nature? You don't have to talk about religion. If we're connected to that small nature, and that's connected to that, and that's connected to that, then we're connected to the whole of the universe.
Yeah.
And the other planets. Here's a joke for you. Why aren't there any Martians on Mars?
I'm not sure.
Because they found out that the humans were coming. They legged it. Isn't they, Anna?
It's true.
See, I'm trying to say to you, Satnam Singh, that laughter makes you better.
Absolutely.
Anna?
Environment which is pleasant, positive, will always make you feel well. It'll always want you inside. It will pull you to go there. So are you saying that all this stuff is what you've learnt on your way, how to deal with this by staying positive, being happy, being around the right people, staying spiritual, learning, and so forth? That's the key.
Yeah. My clutch went, Corona came. Everything shut down. Oh, crikey. I was getting in a manic state. I think, oh, God. The AA said, sorry, chump, we're closed, Corona.
Yeah.
Rang a few mates, sorry, chump. I rang a friend of mine. I need your car for work. कहता आजा मेरे को लगी मेरे बोटी को लगी या took it.
Yeah.
Boom. You've got to find the solution to your problem. How to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Not blame someone.
But just find a solution.
You find it. If I say tu edda kita, chal fi, finished. So hang on. He did that, but I'm not going to react to it. I'm going to take the negative into a positive.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let myself get into that situation again.
Very difficult to do.
Yeah.
Very difficult to do.
You know, the mind is the most powerful thing in the world that God gave human beings. When you look at the mind, look at what the mind has done.
Yeah.
It's created aeroplanes, ships, parliaments, everything. Everything, it comes from the mind. Your emotions start in your mind.
So this is...
They don't start in your Twinkie.
No, they don't. And
Yeah.
I think you've said it perfectly, guys. It's if you're listening there and you can take it on board and you can resonate with this, it's hitting all the right areas. It's all about your thought process and how you want to solve it, solutions. But Baji, look, thank you so much for today.
Hang on,
It's been a bit. I'm going to give you an opportunity to say any last words.
Right. Talking about the mind. Anybody who knows me will know I'm a big fan of this gentleman. He's passed away about 40 years ago. His wife divorced him, left him, and people were ridiculing him, and they were saying, "You're finished now, son," and everything. And he sang this beautiful song. It's to do between him and his wife. It could have been between him and his puppy or his football team or whatever. And the word mind kept coming up, Baji. And I'll sing you a little verse from it. You were always on my mind. Little things I should have said and done. I just never took the time. Think about it, mental health. If you don't take the time and speak to Sukha Singh and say, "Oh yaar, main unhu yaad karda reha. You were always on my mind." And they asked him and he says, "I never took the time to love my wife. I never took the time to tell her how great she was." It's the simple things. And you know what? That song went in at #1 around the world and she started crying. He didn't cry, she started crying. So you know your mum, give her a hug, or your brother, or anybody. You know, anybody you see, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, I'll guarantee you they'll speak to you. Anyway, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
And thank you so much, guys. That was a very heartfelt and mind-blowing interview today. It's somebody who's dealing with bipolar, somebody who's moving forward in life, and he's given you some tips. Again, we're not therapists, we're not doctors, but get the right help. The Sikh Helpline's there to signpost you and guide you and speak to you. And also, stay positive. From myself, Cardinal Singh, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.